What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, guys? Give me 1 second. What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, everybody? What's up, what's up? We about to get started. Give me 1 second. I hope that y'all are ready for a good show tonight. We are super excited to bring y'all the first episode of Mac at Night. I'm about to bring in the host after I pin this comment. Okay, period. So Michaela and Ashley request to be in so I could bring y'all up. I'm waiting for the other co-hosts to come up. Hey, Michaela.
Hi. Hold on,
I'm about to bring Ashley up.
I'm writing the pinned tweet. I mean, not the tweet. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
The pinned text.
Oh
Hey,
no!
Ashley.
You not a
Hi
pin?
guys.
Are y'all
You hear me?
excited? The first episode?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you? I got the pinned
Period.
tweet. You heard me?
Huh?
You not a pin it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, hold up.
I'm so excited
There
for
you
everyone
go.
here.
All right,
Well,
let me
hey,
pin that one.
Huh?
Bang.
Oh man.
Boom.
I wish my light, like, all you see is the, who that?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
All right,
Okay.
let me turn on the music.
Okay.
All right, what's up, y'all? My name is Armani Rose, and these are the other hosts. Y'all introduce yourselves.
My name is Cash. Hi everybody.
And I'm MK. And I go by
And we,
K.Amani on Instagram. Sorry.
period. And we are Mac at Night. Tonight is our first episode, and we are so excited to bring this to you all. Thank you for everybody that is going to join, that has already joined. And we are ready to give y'all a lit show. So, let me go ahead and bring up our guest for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and bring her in, and then I'm going to go ahead and introduce her.
Um,
Oh, yeah. We need a guest in here. Hey, y'all.
Woo!
Hi.
Hey. So
How are
y'all that
you?
was coming in or whatever, the song that was playing in the background was actually her song. But before we get into that, we're just going to go ahead and introduce her. So who we have on today, her name is Asia Blue. Asia Blue is a native from Columbia, South Carolina, and is an upcoming graduate at Benedict College, which is also my alma mater. Asia is known for being queen of her class for 3 consecutive years, a music artist, model, activist, and leader. Asia has been featured in Columbia Fashion Week and other local shows in Columbia, performed for major shows like the Lemonade Day Party hosted by Hot 1039, has been featured as a performer at the Nickelodeon Theater, and she recently became a part of a band called Lux Cola in Columbia, South Carolina. Like I said, the song that was playing in the background was one of her new songs called Naked, which is streaming all platforms under Asia Blue. So without further ado, let me introduce my sis, Asia Blue. How are you, girl?
welcome.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Are y'all
Welcome.
blessed and highly favored?
I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm
How are
good. Are
you?
you? We just want to thank you here at Mac at Night for joining our first show. We're super excited to have you. Super excited to talk to you. I mean, the questions, I know you personally, but I picked you to be, my first guest because I just feel like your story needs to be shared. We already have that connection, and I just feel like you're doing so much, in the community, and also, with just being a brand. And it's amazing to see a young Black woman doing her thing
Come
in the
on.
city where she's from.
Yeah.
So I just want to give you the floor and just, tell the people who is Asia Blue outside of what we just,
Yes.
told everybody.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you all for having me. I've actually had conversations with all of you. I remember y'all went on your birthday trip, and that's how I talked to some of y'all, and of course Ashley, you know how it is, Miss
Yes,
Ma'am.
we're here.
So it's good to be here and be in the presence. So as you said, I go by Asia Blue. That's my stage name. And I don't know. I'm just an all around artist. And in the words of my favorite Erica Badu, I'm sensitive about my shit. Like,
Thank
that's
you.
all I can say. I really do believe that we are God within God. So with that being stated, I feel like I have no limitations. I have no box. And I'm not cocky, but as Kanye said, they say that cockiness is confidence, and that's exactly what I had. So that is all that I am, and I am all that I am.
They don't know you.
Period.
I love it.
Thank you.
So I actually want to start off just a little bit backwards because a lot of people don't know. A lot of people see, Asia Blue on Instagram, Asia Blue doing her thing, Asia Blue modeling, singing, but people don't know where you come from. So I
Yeah.
want you to speak a little bit about that, your upbringing, because I know you shared a little bit to me about, you coming up homeless, and you kind of have a rags to riches type of story. Although you're still on your
Oh my.
journey to become rich, your spirit is rich. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to know, like, give the people a little bit of background of where you come from and how you got to be the person you are today.
So first of all, I really love how you just said you're not rich, but your soul is rich. I think that's one of the most important keys out of a lot of keys that people should understand. That the whole time while you're chasing wealth, the wealth really comes from within yourself. And I know that that's very how can I say, that's very well said. It's easier said than done because we all want money, but truth be told, like, it's not really the money, it's really who you are. So to get into my story, like you said, I am from Columbia, South Carolina. Shout out to the 803 Soda City. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Um, and growing up, I want to say my first 5 to 6 years. Yeah, so from when I was a baby all the way until like 6, I experienced being homeless. And just back and forth with my mom. So my mother and my father, they met when I was a young child. Why I say they met is because my father, who I know was my father, wasn't my biological father. So he decided, when they met, like, I want you and I want the baby too. So with that being stated, it was kind of like a love story. And in between them coming together, my father ended up getting on a drug addiction. And he used to physically abuse my mom and things like that. So it caused her to take me and run away. And, the whole just simple story. I'm trying to do better with my child. And so we ended up in different homeless shelters. But I really do believe that everything happens for a reason. I'm not saying that to be sad. In fact, if I could change anything, I would put myself in a homeless shelter sooner because of the simple fact that although I was so young, it's so many faces and people that I remember from those places. And it helped me to understand diversity at a young age. That just because a person might have holes in their pocket doesn't mean that their soul isn't full. You know?
Mm.
So that helped me to grow up and to not really judge people. We all judge, but to not judge people for real, not to be like, oh, they're on the street, they're just a crackhead, or they're this or they're that. I come from a functional crackhead. My father was functional. This man had money. This man looked good, still is fine to this day. Mind you, he's not on drugs. He's delivered. He's a beautiful man. But at that time, you would have never known. You would have never known. And so I say this to say everybody has a story. So growing up, it was like that. My mother and my father ended up separating, and she met my stepfather. And so we kind of had a better life, but I was still in the hood, bang bang, shoot 'em up. And again, it just taught me more diversity. Don't judge a book by its cover. I met prostitutes, coke dealers, crack dealers, people who would be the type of people that you would want to stay away from, who had hearts of gold because they were only doing what they had to do so they could get to where they had to get to. And so, just grew up like, just all over the place. It's not until now, like I could say college, where I've become more stable. But again, I'm still in college, so how stable can I be? but it's definitely been a beautiful experience that has carried me to where I am now. So I thank God that, hey, we made it.
That's what's up. And I love how you said, how you mentioned college, because that's actually leading into my next question. Were you always this star child before college, or did college kind of like evolve you into that?
So when I say that I literally believe we're God within God, I mean that I've always known that since I've been a little girl. So I was little making my own songs. I was in my own world. I didn't have to have friends. I played with myself. For the most part, I was the only child. So I say this to say college didn't bring that star out of me. I was born one. I was made one. I was put into my mother as a star. You know, she just had she was like Mary. You know, she just had the pleasure of birthing Jesus. And again, it's not to be cocky. It's just the confidence in what I know God has placed in me. However, it was college that I want to say pruned what I have. You know, it helped cultivate it. It helped it grow because once I got into middle school and high school, you know, I used to get bullied and picked on, and I felt bad for being me. You know, when I started looking around and noticing like, wow, I don't think like everyone else. Wow, she doesn't look like me, or I don't have that money, or my hair isn't done like how theirs is. You know, I don't have it all. I started to really, you know, put myself down. And then when I got to college, people was like, no, I actually like you for that. You know, I actually like your hair like that. Not knowing, I didn't know how to do my hair. What do y'all like? But I like that. I like that quirkiness. I like that weirdness about you. And it just helped me to continue to push and be who I am. I still have a long, long way to go. But college has definitely did a 360 on who I used to be so much. So, yeah.
That's what's up. I mean, I can definitely relate. I mean, me and Blue, for the people who are watching, me and Blue went to the same college. That's how we met. And I don't know, it's just something about the spirit of Benedict College that like gives people, like when I came into Benedict, it literally was a second chance school. And when you think of second chance school, you think of education wise. But literally, that's what Benedict College was outside of education. It was literally a chance to start over, a chance to recreate your life. And so, for me personally, I had the same type of experience, not the same exact story, but going to Benedict College and being in that atmosphere and that environment, it just changed me as a person completely. And so, you know, with you, you know, coming to Benedict College and accomplishing all the things that you accomplished, why was it important for you to run for I think she's out.
We could get a few minutes. Because, you know, sometimes when you swipe out, we cut you off.
Yeah. Hold on. I think she's requesting back.
Okay.
You guys have similar stories. It's almost kind of like Benedict gave y'all that rebirth chance.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
Hold on. It's not.
Okay.
You can keep going, Ashley. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. Oh, is she back?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's back.
It's still loading on my end. I still see like it's spinning.
She back. The week keep going. Hopefully it's set in, but no, she's back.
Hold on, I still want to be able to see her though.
You might have to come back, log off. I mean, not log off. But
hold on, give me 1 second. Let me remove her, then add her back in. Give me 1 second, Blue. All right. Let me see if this works.
You see her now?
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. All right. Sorry for the technical difficulties, y'all.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was me.
Get it? Ashley had a good point to make, and I wanted you to say it while Blue was up here on live.
Yeah, sure. Blue, I was saying that listening to, well, first of all, I loved everything you just said. You know, I always love when you speak. But when Deshaun said that his story was...
Ashley, pick your phone up.
Oh, shoot. When Deshaun said that his story was similar but not the same, I was saying that Benedict kind of gave you, or maybe all the students there, like a rebirth chance. Like you guys were able to not become a new person, but kind of, I don't know, maybe reinvent yourself or come into that person you always were.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that's exactly that's what I can. Sorry, y'all. Listen, I don't know what's going on right now. Hold on. But I can honestly say that's definitely my experience, and that was Benedict for me. Again, I already had the gift of coming into the world, I want to say, and kind of having a knowing, that's what I call it. I really don't know how to explain it, something spiritual, but a voice, a knowing of who I was. But it definitely was Benedict that helped me to remember and then also to understand what I was, and
Mm-hmm.
then also kind of help that baby that was never helped. You know, when I was younger and I was different, I always got praises from my family, but it was never, this is what this is, and this is what it is to be clairvoyant, and this is what it means when you feel this way, and you know, this is what a onomatopoeia is in your poetry. All they did was clapping, good job, but it was never let's take you to singing classes so you can understand what this note is and what this is, and you know, just things that maybe if I had, I could have been better. But I
Yeah.
feel like I am better because I didn't have those things, you know? It made me what they like to say a raw talent. I can't tell you how I do things. I can't tell you what this note was that I just sung or how I came up with that rap off the top of my head with freestyling. All I know is it came out of me. You know, it wasn't something that was taught. And Benedict taught me to embrace that. So actually I would love to say that I agree and I love how you put that, because that's exactly what it was. And the fact that you didn't just say me, but you said Armani and you said us, because that's us as a student body. Because I don't graduate until next month. Woohoo. But
Congratulations.
you, I still see my fellow Tigers and my fellow students doing the same thing. Like I'll see these y'all, I don't want to call them kids, but it's just like that. I see these kids come in as freshmen, and then by the time it's their junior year, I'm looking like, yo, who was this woman? Who was this man? I got tears in my eyes because I'm thinking about some people that I actually know personally. Benedict just does something, you know. We don't have everything. We don't have the best resources, the best education, the best books. South Carolina is actually rated one of the lowest in the states for all things academic. But what I can say is, it's those same struggles that make us the best. Because
Yeah.
when you go to Benedict, you have to wake up and want. They don't give. If you want to eat, you got to go kill that chicken and cut it yourself, you know? So I'm
Facts.
grateful.
Facts. And I mean, I have nothing else but to freaking agree. I mean, this interview isn't about me. I could talk about our alma mater all day, but this interview isn't about me. So I want to get into you know, your start at Benedict. From when I met you, you were running for Miss Freshman. So I just want to talk about like what gave you the confidence to step into, you know, that role as Miss Freshman, or even to have the confidence to run and represent your student body.
I just want to say, with all honesty, I was so scared, y'all. When I say I was scared, okay, so this was what, 2017 at the time. Y'all, I literally looked all over the place. I was the girl who would wear high to her freaking knees, mismatched socks, overalls, and then a shirt that didn't match the socks, and then some crazy shoes, and then my hair was pink, purple, green, all kind of colors. Like I was just, I was all over. I was still finding me. And here it was, these beautiful girls, y'all. When I say so beautiful, very put together, very made up, very high, you know, upper echelon. And they were so gorgeous and so sweet. I seen them running and I was like, wow, as I'm looking at these girls, they're so beautiful. It's not to knock them, but I don't see nobody who look like me. But as I look through my campus, I see so many people who look like me or act like me, but they're scared. They're scared like I'm scared. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna run. That's what I'm gonna do. And so I remember it was the day of election, and I'm talking about everybody was put together. Again, coming from my background, I have a lot of support now, but it took a lot for my family and us to get to where we are now. So I was by myself. I didn't have, I was watching everybody's moms and sisters come to do their makeup and hair because, it was time to give our big speeches, and I didn't have that. I had me. So I was very nervous, and it was time to go up, and they kind of had me pushed towards the back. It's crazy how God worked, y'all. Let me tell you. The man walks up to me. I believe his name was Mr. Squarwell, but it might have been somebody else. But an administrator walked up to me and they said, "You only have 2 minutes to speak." Originally, we had 5 minutes. They made us write out a whole speech that was prepped. We had to practice because they had to make sure we didn't say anything provocative in our speech. And then we were able to run. Y'all gave everybody 5 minutes, but when it come to me, I get 2. So I literally didn't know what to do. So my spirit said, throw it away. And I said, spirit, what? I'm talking about there's somebody in front of me. I'm up next. It said, throw the speech away. So I balled the speech up and I literally threw it on the ground. And I walked up and I said, hey, so guys, this is what happened. My name is Asia Blue, and that speech is the speech that made everybody vote for me. And that's how I won. And I literally know that because students came up to me. I'll never forget, it was one student. She said, she was being completely honest. She said, I was going to vote for the other girls because they were pretty. They look really nice. Like, I really liked the way they looked. And, you look so different. She said, but then I heard you speak. And it was something about what you said that was real to me. And I knew that I wanted you to represent me. And I never forget that. So that was kind of what happened when I ran. And since then, I just been on fire. I've been like, okay, now what else? What else can we do?
Yes.
Would have read from that piece of paper.
You gotta pick your phone up, Ashley.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Just imagine if you would have read from that piece of paper. Like, I feel like it wouldn't. I wasn't there, but it wouldn't have been as authentic. It wouldn't have been as powerful as it was. So
I have to agree.
Yeah,
I agree with you, Ashley, because a lot of people don't know. I actually freestyle for real. People know that, but I grew up thinking my favorite rappers. As y'all see, I got T-bars on my shirt. Like the people I used to listen to, I grew up thinking that they used to freestyle. When we would turn on the radio and they be spitting, they would actually write. They would go there. Some people would freestyle, but most of the time it's practice. They write and they spit. Well, I used to want to be those people. I used to be I used to want to be what I thought I was looking at. When I realized they wasn't, I was like, I'm going to be the real thing. I'm going to be a real freestyler. I'm going to come up with something off the top, So, with that speech, I'm bringing it to an end. With that speech, with what you just said, that speech made me realize, like, yo, like, you can do this. I want to say I've always been freestyling, but that was the birth of it for real. Yeah. That was me putting it into public eye, saying, okay, let's just try. And once, like I said, once that happened, I've been on the road since. Like, so I have to agree. I really like that you said that, because I don't think I would have been who I was today if I didn't throw that paper away. Honestly, now that I think about it, and I never thought about that till you just said it. So thank you.
yeah, absolutely.
Everybody who's joining, we want to say hello. Thank y'all for joining in. We are interviewing Asia Blue right now, you guys. Asia Blue. So make sure that y'all follow her. Make sure that y'all follow all of us. I'm Armani Rose. This is Cash, MK. All of our Instagrams are linked below in the pinned comments. And again, we want to say thank you for joining. But back to the conversation. So you're Miss Freshman. You're moving through college. Now you're getting involved into extracurricular activities. What made you decide to, represent the class, but now do something bigger than just representing your class and being a face?
Well, the first step was realizing that I had to be bigger than me. Like I said, again, I'm going to keep bringing it back to this point. We are God within God, but at the same time, we are humans - being. Being is the God part. Human is the first part. We're born into this skin, this face, these teeth. This is not what we leave here with, So we have to realize that we're bigger than ourselves. We're bigger than this. And that speech, me winning that position, I was literally an underdog. That was me realizing that I'm bigger than myself. I am Big Blue. I am what I am. I am going to be this, and I'm going to be all that I can be. So now that I know this, like, let's go crazy. let's go join this club. Let's go do things that I never wanted to do because I was always socially awkward. You know, I used to be nervous because like I said, when I was little, I was very open, very you know. And then when people started putting me down, it made me want to close up.
Mm.
Yeah, it made me feel like I didn't belong anywhere, you know, that ain't nobody gonna appreciate me but me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just again, I'm grateful for college. I'm grateful for where it has taken me and those activities. I even read a quote in college once and it reminded me of myself. Um, it said, when you feel like you're in a world that you don't belong in, it's because you were made to create a new one.
Mm.
That
I
spoke.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite quotes too. I don't know who said it, but listen, shout outs to y'all.
for real. That was a powerful one.
That was
It
powerful.
makes me a little emotional talking about, you know, when you said that, you know, people would put you down and it'll make you close up, because I totally relate to that. And I think that that was one of the things that kind of like brought us together unexpectedly, was because although our stories weren't 100% the same, we were similar. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, I came from a background where I wasn't 100% accepted for my sexuality, and I wasn't given the opportunities to 100% shine. You know what I'm saying? Going back to when you were saying that you were a raw talent, for me, that's what it was. And it wasn't until I got to Benedict College where it was like, and you have the people, and it's crazy because you would think that us being in the South, I wouldn't have been received well. You know what I'm saying? But being on that campus, it's like all the weirdest people were
Yeah.
received so well. You know what I'm saying? And it gave us a chance to really step out of our shells and really shine. You know what I'm saying? And this is, well, how we met was, it was actually off of some music things for the people that are watching. Me and Blue, because I had seen her on campus, she was doing her thing. I used to be Mr. Freshman at Benedict College, and so, you know, I always kept my eyes and my ears to the campus. And so it was just something about her that was just so different than everybody else. Like she said, she used to wear the mismatched socks, hair. She used to have this big afro or whatever. And her style was just different. Like, she wasn't, I would say that you were more of a trendsetter at Benedict. You never
Mhm.
followed any trend. You always did your own thing. And it doesn't matter how weird it was, how unorthodox it was you. And when people saw, like, nobody could ever say Blue looked like somebody else. When you stepped inside of a building, when you were in, it could be the cafeteria, your presence alone and your style just was different than everybody else. And that's what made you stand out. And so I remember me and Blue, we talked or whatever, and it was off of some stuff that I wanted to collaborate with her on some music, because I had seen her perform. She has a beautiful voice. She can rap her butt off and just spit off the top of her head, and I was very impressed. And so we sat down one day. I don't remember if this was before the fashion show, or actually this was after your first tryouts for the fashion show. So I actually met Blue. I actually got to experience Blue through her auditioning for a fashion show that I was running. And her first tryout, she didn't make it. She didn't make it, but
All I
what
failed.
I respected was that she came back. Sorry.
I failed. I came in there with wedges on, y'all. When I say thick wedges, like grandma wedges, they was about this big, and it was time. I'm sorry. It was time to walk, y'all. And y'all know that like TikTok. I wish I had a time machine. Literally how I looked. My fall was like, and like that was it. It was over. It
It,
was over.
and it was crazy because, like, when we talked about it, I don't think that you was like, you thought that I was going to pick you again. But that the second time that we had the spring show, I had challenged myself that year, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take everybody. It doesn't matter if they can't walk, whatever. I'm gonna take everybody. So I ended up taking Blue. She tried out again, um, and I ended up taking her. We actually had a conversation, which led to the storyline of my whole show. And one of the things that she told me was that she was like, and it's something about you. And I think Ashley wants to speak more about this. So I'll let her ask those questions later. But it's something about your spirit, and you're very gifted to where you can see things in people that they may not see in themselves. And one thing that you told me, you was like, you know, you got to go inside of your closet. There's some things that you haven't uncovered and that you haven't dealt with, and you got to go inside of that closet and you got to deal with it. And so I ended up naming the show The Closet. And inside of the show, there were, in the different scenes, every scene matched the things that I was going through in that particular time that I was battling. And Blue actually throughout the show became one of the best models that came out of the production. She worked hard. She put forth the effort. She came to every practice, and she was a leader, you know, towards the whole show. So I want to ask, you know, what gave you the confidence to come back and try out again? And then, you know, what was kind of like your strategy to become the best at something that you had never done before?
Okay, so you made me so emotional because taking me back there, it's crazy because I didn't know that you were literally putting on a show with what you were going through at that time, because that's literally what I was going through. So it's crazy how we were mirroring each other, like, wow. And that y'all keep saying stuff that is, I'm literally tearing up. Y'all keep saying stuff that is making me think about stuff that I never thought about before. So again, I'm so appreciative, and this show is going to really go far. Like, y'all got something that's dope. But to go back to your question, I'm sorry, sidebar.
Girl, you making me tear up a little bit.
Okay,
This your moment. I need you to understand. This is your moment.
Thank you, mommy.
It's your floor.
Thank you. I just remember, I want to say, to answer your question with the modeling, I remember going back to being bullied and feeling not accepted. With that came how I felt about myself internally, not just personality wise, but how I felt I looked. I wanted to be beautiful. I wanted to be pretty. I wanted to be like, even though I knew I was different, I can't lie and say I didn't want to be like the other girls. I wanted to be Jada Waiter. Okay? like seriously, that was my thing, you know? And I realized that was a disease, that was sick, that was sick. And anybody who feels like that, I don't mean to step on your toes. It is normal, but it's sick. Because you're made to be you. And I knew that if I could get through that show, that if the girl who feels like a 0 can make people think she feels like a 10, I would somehow trick my mind into knowing that I'm a 10 too. And I know it sounds crazy, but mentally it worked. Because Armani, you said something one day to one of our models. I'll never forget. Her name was Jennifer. You said Jennifer because we were going to a model in Jennifer's hometown, and Jennifer was very, very she suffered really bad from anxiety, like so bad, like her voice was like this, like she didn't want to speak up, like she was really scared. So we were actually going to model in her hometown one year where all of the people who used to pick on her and make her life hell in high school was going to be watching her. And Armani said to her,
I remember that.
Yeah, he looked at her and he said, you know what make you better right now?
Girl,
You know what you got? He said, at the end of the day, you're worried about them looking at you, but you're doing something that they will never do. They're looking at you on that stage, a stage that they will never be on. And that was the mindset that I had to come back. So even though he said that a little down the line of me coming back, that was still my mindset. See, me and Armani was always on one accord. I knew that if I could walk in front of these people who were representations of the stages of my life, you know, from high school to middle school to the bullying to the name calling to me being not having it, they wouldn't talk about the brands I was wearing. Because, baby, you can't wear these brands. They put these on me. I'm the model. They couldn't talk about me not being good enough because you wasn't selected to be on this stage or you're not here, you know? And it wasn't me trying to say I'm better than anybody, but it was me showing that I am good enough. That I am good enough. And it's in my walk. And I will not walk with my head down no more. I will not walk in a room and feel as if I don't belong here, because I do. If I didn't, the door wouldn't be open. And if somehow I got this door open, I was supposed to be here. So that was just my thing. That's what had me come back. I said, you know what? Listen, you gonna get healed. You gonna take your CMOS, sis. You gonna you gonna get this sickness
Okay.
out of you. And that's what modeling did for me. Like, it made me like say, you know what, sis, like, yeah, you are beautiful. Cause I say you're beautiful to me. So
Period.
boom.
Okay.
I
I
love
want
it.
to say this, then I want to open the
Thank
floor to
you.
Michaela and Ashley to ask you questions. But it made me a little emotional. It made me emotional when you said that, because when you said mirrors, how we mirrored each other. I felt like everybody on that troop mirrored me in a way, because I remember being Jennifer. I mean, I was never soft spoken. I always spoke my mind. I always had a certain energy about me, but I remember being in certain rooms that, like, if my mom took me to one of her friends' parties, or if I was in a place where I didn't know anybody, I would hide myself and who I was, because I wanted people to like me, when in reality I was just dimming my own self. You know what I'm saying? Trying to fit in and trying to please everybody, walking around with this bad energy. And
Yeah.
so it made me emotional, because I do remember that experience with Jennifer, and her being that type of person, and seeing her evolve from
Yeah. So
this, seeing all of y'all evolve. I mean, some of y'all, like Blue, couldn't walk. Some of these girls could not walk, but to see all of these beautiful women and men evolve into these superstars, just by off of the little bit that I could give when I wasn't even 100% confident in myself, is amazing. And now to see, Blue, it wasn't even me that did it for Blue. Blue did this on her own, but to know that I was a part of that experience, and to see her where she is now, it's a blessing in the whole. But I want to open up the floor for Ashley and Michaela to ask you questions, because I know I've been talking this whole time, because I know you.
black women, black sisters.
Yes.
Oh, I do have some questions for you. And my first question would be, would you say that Benedict College helped you evolve into who you are today? But you already answered it, so I don't even need to ask you that. But it's already set in stone. We already know what that is. But while attending Benedict College, what would you say the greatest lesson and blessing was that came out?
Ooh, that's hard because it was so many.
Okay.
Listen,
Look, just a few.
Benedict was the trenches. You hear me?
Yeah.
Sometimes we had to go to another building down the street to take a shower, but we ain't gonna get into it. We ain't gonna get into it. On a serious note, I want to say, my greatest lesson and biggest blessing was to be lost. I was lost. Oh my God, y'all, I was so lost. There was times where I literally was not in my mind. I'm going to share something with y'all because I'm a very transparent person. So a lot of people don't know this about me, but if it comes up, I'm going to say it. There was a time where I actually went to go dance, like as a stripper, like in college. All right, so check it out. What led me to being that person, to going to that place. Now, mind you, for any dancers or anybody who might see this or anybody watching, I do not have nothing against y'all. Do y'all thing. It wasn't for me. Let me tell y'all though. I was so lost in my mind. I was so depressed, y'all, because I couldn't find me. One thing I can say was Benedict made me face things that I thought that I got rid of, but truth be told, I actually pushed deep down within myself. And so I was dealing with it, but I didn't know I was dealing with it. So when I got to Benedict and I was on my own, and I didn't have parental guidance, and I didn't have a curfew, and I didn't have people telling me these things, I had to figure things out on my own, which I kind of already did. Again, I got lost. I just remember coming in. So I want to say I first started smoking weed. I hit my first blunt around 11 or 12. So I wasn't new to this. I was true to this, But I was oh, it ain't really for me like that. And I remember My senior year, I got really devoted to God, like so devoted. I was actually having like I could touch people and they would pass out. And Armani has actually seen this in his own dorm room. There was a girl and it was some things going on. Y'all, I touched her and she was out. Okay. So I got to Benedict and I'm starting to realize, you know, after I won Miss Freshman, after all of these things is going on, yo, you still broken. Wow. That still hurt me. What happened to me at 5 still hurt me. What happened to me at 7 still hurt me. What happened to me last month still hurt me. And I'm taking it with me. That's what this bag is for. So this not a purse. This not an accessory. This is baggage, you know? And then I lost my mind. Once I realized that it was too much to handle, I was like, oh my God, what do I do? So I started partying heavy. I'm talking about every party. As Miss Freshman, as Miss Sophomore, as Miss Junior, I'm out there just getting lit, getting wicked. I can't say I was never really promiscuous. I didn't go through the promiscuous phase at this time, but I was drinking and smoking and just doing things that were outside of my character. That might can be good for you, but it was outside of me in that moment. And so back to the dancing, I was in my room one day, my dorm room, and I was crying. And I literally felt like death. I felt dead. I would literally walk out my room and I would, hey Ashley, hey Armani, hey everybody, I just want to say how you doing, then go in my room and cry myself to sleep. I wouldn't eat. If my roommate would be gone for the weekend, I would use that whole room to soak in the pain that I was feeling. I wanted to die. But being that I'm Christian, I was like, you know what, I ain't gonna kill myself, but I'm dead. So when I got a phone call from somebody and it was like, you know, this is what I do now. I'm like, well, I need some money. I'm already lost. I went and I did that too. It's like I literally started just doing everything that I could do to feel something. But in that, I found me. In that, I realized I don't like this. I don't want to be here. I don't want to do that. This makes me feel this way. This is what I don't like. It's like along the way, I started picking up pieces. Okay, that's not me, but this is. Okay, cool. Well, this isn't me, but that is. Okay, great. And so just to reiterate, it was the being lost to be found for me, going into the wilderness, having to die to be rebirthed. That was my biggest lesson. I'm grateful for it.
I love everything you're saying. Like, oh my gosh.
And I tell you that I sat here and I listened to you, but I feel like you're talking to me. I need you to understand you're talking to yourself. And I feel like I'm looking at myself. And you almost made me. I'm trying so hard. Because do you understand? I lost myself and didn't even know I was lost.
Mm-hmm.
Then I found myself again.
Mm-hmm.
But when you find yourself again, it's like it's a whole different beast.
It's a whole different
It's a whole different beast. And it's the fact that you said you was finding the things that you like and then you drop. It was like you was dropping baggage along the way. And that's exactly what I did. That's why I said you talking to me. I'm here talking to somebody on this live too. Or multiple on this live, because I sat here and I said, I'm gonna say this. Cause you just hit it. You just was touching it. I'm like, she is talking to me. And it's just amazing to see the rebirth, to see who you are when nobody had thought that you were once there. That's the thing. Because we don't, when we rebirth, you can't tell me what I used to be. Because you don't see it. Don't even remind me of who I was. Because this is who I am now.
Yes.
So I love everything about what you said. I ain't gonna get too deep in it, but I do want to touch on when you said it was like God was working in you in a whole different way. I just experienced that. I knew how powerful God was, but I didn't know. Yeah. And just recently, I found out who God like really was. It was like I tell people now. I said I done activated a whole new level, and it's only a level that you know. Unless you won't ever experience it unless you allow yourself to be accessible. If you're not accessible, you don't know where we're coming from. So it's just like, if you tell yourself, you know, I hear from God, do you really hear from God? Because God he be saying stuff, laying it all out for me. And I tell people, it's just like, I tell people all the time, don't focus on the messenger, focus on the message.
Ooh,
I say
come on,
that a
sis.
lot because so many people focus on who's saying it that you're missing the whole message. So it's just like, in this season, and to whoever's listening, in this season, if you feel like it's been a shift or a change, listen. It's rough. It's lonely when you get closer to God. It's very like the oddball. You feel like it ain't nothing going right, but what he's doing is building you up so that when you get those things that you really want, you already in the place to receive it. But I'm gonna stop. It ain't about me.
I needed that. I
You
needed
there?
that. No
That's it,
shade.
though. That's it. That's
But I
exactly
got
what it is. I believe that it was a friend of mine who told me this. And then another friend confirmed it. They was basically saying, you know, something on the lines of, I can't wait to see the next life I live. And I'm sitting here like, what you talking about? And then I thought about it. We live so many lives because we died to be reborn, to die, to be reborn, to die, to be reborn again. We are like modern day Jesus, to be crucified, to what? Resurrect on that third day, to be a whole different, like you said, beast. I am no longer that girl that I'm sitting here crying, talking to y'all about. And that's why I'm crying. I'm not crying because I'm sad. I'm crying because, dang, I forgot she was even there. Like, to even see the glory, to even see how much better you can become once you tap into you. And like you said, the closer you get to God, it starts to seem like everything is obsolete. Like the people don't matter, because the closer you get to God is the closer that you get to you. No one gonna love you like you love you. Again, we are God within God. It did not say I created them like my image. No, it says I created them in my image. And people don't realize that you are more than just flesh. You are literally God as well. To respect the creator, but also respect what you are, that you have the power in this universe to really do some things and shake some things up. And so that was dope what you said, for real. Like, yeah, that was it.
Thank you. Look, you dope too, shoot. You activated all this. But I got one more question for you. And I know that you've been involved in many activist projects, but one that stood out most to us was the Million Man March in South Carolina. And can you tell us how you got involved and why was it important to you to be a part of that?
So back to God and how God sets everything up. So it's this guy, his name is C Metro. I'm saying this guy now because I'm gonna tell y'all how he became my brother later. So he was a guy at first. He was this photographer in South Carolina. I'm seeing him do some work. And it was this beautiful chocolate girl. Her name is Bree. And I'm going to tell y'all how she became my sister later. But at this time, she's a girl. So we DMing each other, you know, sending self-love. Because I'm the type of person, I don't have to know you for you to tell me your business, for me to give you advice, for me to compliment you. Like, I'm just going to say what I feel like and how I feel. I'm just a different type of human. You feel me? So me and her already had a rapport. We already would see each other, you know, in the streets, but we never really connected for real. But like, I just knew she had a genuine vibe. So C Metro, also known as Leo, he hits me up and he says, hey, I like what you do. You know, I see that you model. I would love to take some pictures with you. I'm like, cool. So we link up to take pictures, and lo and behold, here goes Bree. Now, at the time, they were low key. They're engaged now with a baby on the way. So shout out to them. Very proud of the love story. But at the time, you know, they was very low key. But, you know, I already knew. I kind of could see what was going on. So me and her had a very personal talk that day. And me and Leo actually developed a liking for each other, to say, you know, hey, I kind of like this girl. I kind of like this guy. So we kind of stayed in each other's path. Well, around the time that the protest happened, before the march, there was a protest at the State House. And this guy was like, all right, y'all, we're going to go down to the police department, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that. If I would have known what I know then, Now I still would have went. I still would have went because, you know, if you change things, you change things. I wouldn't want to change nothing. But then I ain't gonna call him a nigga. That ninja set us up. Let's just say that we was not supposed to go down there. We ain't know, but we went. So y'all, we get down to the state house. Not the state house, the police department, which is like 3-4 blocks from the state house, and all of a sudden people just start chugging these water bottles and stuff at the officers. Let me tell y'all how again they set us up. All the officers in front of us were black. They were black with their riot gear on. Why was y'all send black people out there? Because y'all think that if we see our faces, we gonna calm down. But that's another topic. Anyways, all I see, because Leo's very skinny with a big old head, and I was telling him this. All I see is this big-headed boy jump over the banner, like the not the banner, the basically, you know, the things they use to block the things off, like the wooden
barricade.
The barricade. Yes. So all I see is him jump over the barricade, and I lost it. Then my homegirl AJ, who I was there with, jumped over, so I jumped over the barricade too. And all I know is there's actually a picture of me going viral. I'm standing in front of a friend like this, protecting him from the officers. But anyways, as we're over this barricade, we're trying to tell everybody in the audience, like, I need y'all to chill. Like, I need y'all to calm down. All of this. They eventually calmed down. I ended up leaving, and then they ended up rioting, setting cars on fire. And I'm glad I was not a part of that. So that was the first step to the Million Man March. A lot of people don't know that, but I say it was because that fired something up in Leo. That made him realize, like, yo, something got to get done. This isn't us. We are not these people who break into buildings and do all of this. I understand why we do it, but this is what they want us to see. Because, see, what happened on the news that night, there was none of the peace shown that happened hours and hours before that riot. All you seen was the riot. So that led him to say, I want a different image. I want people to see that we are not just protesting to damage things, but we're doing it for a cause, that we are educated, that we are powerful, and that we are black, and we're strong. So he made a post. The post went viral. What would you do if I had a march? And being that, of course, we had this relationship building, and I helped with the barricade and all of that stuff, he reached out to me, and I was able to play my part. And that was one of the most life-changing experiences for me, because I never done anything like that. I always wanted to stand up for what I felt was right, but I always did it as an individual. I never did it as a movement. And so to see that, oh my God, I want to cry. I would never forget to get to that part and then just look around and see all of us standing there together on one accord, saying that we had enough, that this is what we want. We want change. It did something to me. And again, it was just like that Miss Freshman moment. It allowed me to be bigger than myself, to say you can do it. Like a little small town, small city girl from Columbia, South Carolina, made it on the cover of New York Times for doing what she always doing, having a big mouth. Like, it was beautiful. Yeah, that it was crazy. Yeah, it was
This
crazy.
is what it looks like, y'all.
Oh,
This
wow.
was the Million Man March. So I
Yeah.
actually got it. This guy, his name is Infinite Desires. He went to Benedict College, and he shot this photo. And why I got it is because I'm actually right here in the photo, and I just felt like it was something that I wanted to keep because, you know, I've heard about the Million Man March from back in the day,
From
and
DC,
just
yeah.
to be a part of something so monumental. I mean, I was scared out there because I see what be going on TV, but I wanted to be a part of it. Not only because my sister Blue was there, her and my friend Michi actually gave me the courage to go out there because I'm like, listen, I ain't from here. Okay, so if some stuff go down, my mama, she back home, I ain't got time, but it was bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? And for her to be out there, I mean, leading the entire pack of people, singing on the state steps, talking on the state steps. It was something that I felt like I had to have inside of my house. So this sits on my wall inside of the house, but I wanted to let everybody see like this is, and I mean the crowd goes way back. Like it was a huge crowd full
Yeah.
of men dressed in suits, like women just looking amazing. Like it was an amazing march.
I remember when you first told me that you did this march, and you showed me that picture and you told me about it. And I think at this time I was really getting into John Lewis at the time. So when you showed me that picture and you told me that's what you did, and I'm like, wow, because this literally mirrors Bloody Sunday. And it also mirrors, like you said, the marches back in the day. And you would think that since we're now in the 21st century, or like we're now in like 2020, 2021, 2022, things have changed, it's gotten better. When no, Blue, when you were saying that you had to stand between your friend and a cop or hop the barricade, you realize that we're not far removed from what used to happen to Martin Luther King, John Lewis, Rosa Parks, and stuff like that. So I'm really happy that you guys did that, and I actually want one of those pictures in my house. But I'm glad you guys got to experience that, because that's very, like you said, it's very monumental, very monumental.
So I want to. Did anybody have anything else to ask before I ask some questions? I just got like one more question.
Yeah, I have a couple questions. Blue, I want to say that I loved everything that you've been saying on this live. I loved when you talked about how, you know, we die multiple times and we become rebirthed in this same life. And it spoke to me because a lot of times when I mess up, quote unquote, in life, I'll be like, oh, like, why can't I just get everything together? But it actually speaks to what you said. You die and then you rebirth. You die and you become you become a product of those mistakes that you make, the lessons that come out of that. And the question I had for you was, you know, we sat here and you've told us about how you grew up from being homeless and how you weren't as confident and you grew into your confident moment. And from what you've said, I think the modeling show, because what I'm going to ask is, what is that transitional point in your life that you can pinpoint where, okay, this is where my confidence came from and I've just grown from here? From what I've heard, is it the modeling show that kind of turned you on, like, you know what, I need to be bigger than who I am, I need to be a representative for these people that are too scared to show up for themselves? Or was it another event?
I would have to say it was another event. I don't really speak on it too much, but it definitely had an impact, and then it led to college. So, when I was in high school, I ended up going to, so here in South Carolina, we have the options of going to what they call charter schools. So charter schools allow you to get college credit as well as be on a college campus, but still be in high school. So we were at Midlands Tech, and I remember taking these courses. I left my my senior year to go. And it was like literally my graduation like 60 students. Like that's how minimum the program is. So anyways, prom time comes, and I had my group of friends, but you know, I didn't really consider myself that influential, you know. I mean, how influential could you be amongst 60 people? This is what I'm thinking in myself at this time. And I won prom queen. And I just remember I was like, what? What? Like, I thought y'all ain't like me. Like, what? Like, it was crazy. And I remember sitting there, and then after that, I was able to sing for those same 60 students. I was able to sing for graduation. And I remember going into high school from 8th grade, even though I was bullied and stuff, I always wanted to win prom queen, and I always wanted to sing for graduation. But I knew it would never happen. I was like, this can't happen. This can't happen. No, I'm not popular enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not good enough. It can't happen. And God had to move me. And when God moved me to that second school, everything I wanted came. And so when I won prom queen and I was able to sing at graduation, again, it was a moment to be bigger than myself. But it was the Miss Freshman that confirmed it. And then it was the fashion show that put the icing on the cake. Because if I did it one time, I'm like, okay, All right, maybe it's something. 2 times. Wait a minute. 3. We got something. This is it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is it.
Let me
So
put a. We're gonna put a bookmark in it because we got 20 seconds left before the Instagram cuts off. So we're gonna come back, everybody, in like 5
everybody come
seconds,
back.
and we're gonna do the second half of Mac at Night where we play tonight's conversation.